what I loved about SideOneDummy in those early years was it was us against the world, man. I took it. I'm a very competitive person. As much as I love Epitaph, as much as I love Fat, like all those labels, because they were cool to us as we continued on. But in the beginning, it was definitely like, who are these two dudes? And we had nothing to offer. SideOneDummy had nothing to offer at the time. It was just, Bill used to say, we're just two guys that are super stoked on music. Like Fat Mike could take you on tour with No Effects. Brett Gurewitz could take you on tour with Bad Religion. What could Joe and Bill do? And if it wasn't for Flogging Molly giving us that shot, and that was a match made in heaven with Flogging Molly, because it was everything happens for a reason. It all happens at certain times. That came about because no one wanted to work with Flogging Molly. No one understood what they were about, and no one was willing to give us a chance as a record company to work with a band. And when we went to see them, I remember, I'll never forget it. We go to the venue, we watch Flogging Molly. I want to say it was in Las Vegas, House of Blues, and there's no one there. And they get done, and we walk backstage, and it's mass exodus. Like every band member's just out of there, except Dave. And he's sitting on the couch and he has a Guinness. He's, hey, you want one? Okay. And I'll never forget, we sit there and he goes, what do you guys think? And Bill goes, we want to do a record with you. And he goes, what? And I go, yeah, we want to sign you. He goes, why? Why would you want to sign us? And we were like, it was great. We loved it. And that was the beginning of our relationship with them. And Dave King was the one to say it. I remember he said at one point, it was a perfect match because they needed someone to believe in them and we needed someone to believe in us. And they were the first ones to do that. And then that really, success follows success, because from that it was, straight into like Gaslight, Go-Go Bordello, all those records just started. Because we finally had something to offer. People were like, oh my gosh, if you can make this band Flogging Molly hugely successful. And when I say we, it's them. We're just, the best advice that we ever heard about a record company was, it's the bands on the label. It's not the label owners. And that was one thing I think that kind of happened a lot in the 90s and 80s was the label owners started thinking, they really believed it was about them. And Bill and I from day one were always like, it has nothing to do with us, It has nothing to do with Bill and Joe. It has to do everything with the bands. Without the bands, we're back to two guys that are just super stoked on music, And then the best advice that we ever got from Fat Mike when Flogging Molly was blowing up was I was at a venue and he's like, man, Flogging Molly's doing really well. And he goes, yeah, you know what your job is? And I go, what? He goes, not to fuck it up. And I remember Bill and I looked at each other and we're like, that's about it. Typical Fat Mike advice. And he walked away.